Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another BeatStars Academy live stream. Today, you've got myself, as always, Levi Beats and Jamil. And today, we're going to be talking about some like how to stay on top of trends and why it's so important. So, we're going to be going over some of those and showing you some websites that you can use, including the BeatStars platform as well. So, yeah, we're looking forward to today's show. How are you doing, Jamil?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for this show. When we were kind of brainstorming like some of the things that we could talk about for the new year, I think just kind of like checking in and staying on top of like, kind of like what's hot and in the music scene right now is really important because it can kind of help guide you, kind of what we were talking about in our last episode about like setting a game plan for what kinds of beats you want to make, like what you want your social media strategy to be, and looking at the trends and what's popular right now, while you shouldn't use it exclusively, it is like a good like guiding light, to kind of see if you're going in the right direction, and maybe if you
Yeah.
need a little bit of help in deciding what you want to work on.
Definitely, because it's a little bit hard to predict. But these, if you're using this trending data, you can easily jump onto something, that could end up, potentially going viral. So you could end up, jumping on the back of that. So, and we actually briefly spoke about some trends in one of our previous shows. So, like me and Jamil said, why not let's do a whole show about trends, because it's quite important, especially in the day and age of like social media, how important it is to be on top of all that. So, yeah, hope everyone's doing well. I guess we can kind of get started.
Yeah,
I'm
sure. We
gonna.
did have one kind of just quick thing we wanted to put on
Oh
everybody's
yeah, yeah.
radar. We do have the BeatStars Song Contest ending in a couple of days here on the 28th, like the opportunity to like submit for them and to have voting. So just want to put that on everybody's radar. Check it out. Make sure you're getting in your submission. If you started working on one and you haven't uploaded it yet, go
Yeah.
ahead and do that. You can check it out at songcontest.beatstars.com.
Yep. Definitely check that out. Cool. So, I guess we can kind of start like we kind of briefly went across it, but kind of how trends can help you. The things that looking at these trends, how they can help you to get in front of uh, potential another potential audience and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of tools that you can use. Some people in the chat are probably familiar. Please feel free, by the way, if there's any kind of like sites or any kind of like trending searches that you use yourselves, like feel free to share that with the rest of the community. It's always good to share that stuff. So yeah, so like, what's one of the things that pops to mind for you, Jamil, that can like kind of help you, that can kind of help you by staying on top of these trends? Is there anything in particular that comes to mind for you?
Well, one of the first things that comes to mind for me in terms of like BeatStars users and producers, people who are trying to sell beats, is figuring out like what's popular right now with artists. Like what types of music, what artists, what kinds of type beats, if type beats, uh, are your thing, are going to be coming up and are going to be popular. What are people going to be searching for? You know, I think when you're trying to find new members of your audience, you're kind of relying on your marketing, and another big thing is like your searchability.
Hmm.
So do you have the kinds of things available in your store that people are currently searching for right now? Obviously, everybody, you'll kind of want to stick to what you know, what you like doing. But that doesn't mean you necessarily have to change everything just to hop on a trend. So we're also going to talk about different ways that you can make slight adjustments in your marketing to kind of maybe like leak into the territory of the trends without straying from what you know and what you want to do overall. So something that we wanted to talk about first is looking at what's currently popular, looking at current album releases, looking at current charts, and then looking at future charts to kind of see what is coming up on the horizon. So there's a lot of different tools. The first one that we could use, we could stay right on the BeatStars platform, and that is
Yep.
the trending section of BeatStars. Do you want to pull that up, Lee, and then
Yep.
we
Yep.
could
I have that up
go through
already,
that?
so I can bring that up. Yeah.
So there's a couple different sections where you could see what's trending right now on BeatStars. The
Yeah.
first one would be on the home page, and then the second one would be on this navigation bar in the track section.
Yep. So you have here. So there's a trending this. So this is currently like trending tracks
Mhm.
that you can. So that's another thing as well. Like you can use the BeatStars. I think that's something that we didn't really discuss. But you have these trending searches here, but you can
Mhm.
also check the trending kind of tracks as well. Kind of vibes that people are rocking with. But you can also just generally check the charts as well. Like what other producers, check out the tags that they're using to see kind of what stuff is popping in terms of like vibes and kind of tracks that people are looking for and listening to, stuff like that. But yeah, just to your point with the trending searches, you can find that if you go by the tracks menu link at the top there, you'll see this trending searches here. So this is currently what people, what's trending on BeatStars. This is what people are currently searching for. So you can utilize this on the BeatStars platform to determine, what kind of stuff you want to be kind of uploading to your account if this is the type of stuff you make. Like for instance, if you have like a schedule set up, you have loads of beats made, you have a schedule set up to release your beats, you could maybe determine your schedule, like what you're going to push first based on these trending searches, because that this is what's kind of popping on the BeatStars platform currently. So you can kind of use that to your advantage. I think that's really cool. I think it's probably potentially an underutilized feature that we offer. Um, but yeah, along with that, you can see on the homepage as Jamil said, but you can also just generally use like the actual top chart section as well. So
Yeah, let's.
I think those are
So
good
I think
tools.
what a good exercise would be to kind of look at this trending search section and
Yep.
see if that relates to the top charts at all, because these
Yeah.
kind of
Sure.
provide two different sets of info, right?
Yeah.
So this trending searches section is based on like what people are currently searching for when they're looking for
Yep.
beat stars, and then this trending section over here is based on a few more factors of how kind of like the top charts go.
Yeah.
It's a specific, set of things that kind of like, go into how the charts are kind of ranked right now. But yeah, those are two different sets of info, and they're both valuable. So let's look at this trending searches section right now
Yep.
and kind of like break it down and see what kind of info we can get from this. I'm gonna zoom in just so I can see. It looks like right at the top we have Lil Durk.
Yep.
Lil Durk, obviously a super popular artist right now. He might not be the first, person that you think of when you think about, if I were to choose one artist in the world, do I think that this guy would be the most popular? But sometimes when people are searching for beats, they're looking for a specific vibe.
Yep.
And Lil Durk is trending right now on BeatStar search. Do you know, Lee, if he's had like a recent release, or what are your kind of your opinions on that of why Lil Durk might be trending?
I don't know. In fact, that'd be a good thing to look at maybe on Billboard or something like that, just see if
Yeah.
something's been released recently. Or even you can use YouTube and just type in the artist name and see if they, released something in the last few days or weeks or months or whatever. But remember as well, sometimes it can take some time for a trend to come on, and also as well on the BeatStars platform, it probably works slightly different because this is based on what type of beats that people are looking for, right? So it might not necessarily be based because that artist is particularly popping at the moment. It could be a mixture of both. We're just trying to give you some, like, I guess, some kind of ideas, because no one really has all the answers, right? But by using these tools, you can potentially, find some of those answers that you might be looking for. Um, but so yeah, obviously Lil Durk must be a highly searched artist on BeatStars. That's the type of vibe that they're looking for right now. It could potentially be that is some people, sometimes some people work in that way. They see an artist popping off and they're inspired by that type of artist, and they're looking for those type of beats because that's what they want to do. Who knows?
Mm.
Um, but that's really hard to, like, determine exactly if that's
Yeah, and
right.
I think that was kind of like one of my points that I wanted to bring up sometimes
Yeah,
it's really like not the people that you would expect, you know?
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily always correlate to like it's not always like direct like cause and effect, right?
Yep.
Especially with beat searches. I think we will see on trends. We'll look at that on Google Trends. There's one specific artist that we talked about yesterday, Lee,
Yeah.
where you see like that like Google like Google searches will definitely increase with a recent release or or
Yeah.
something
Something that's
similar to
yes.
that.
Yeah.
But sometimes like just trending searches for beats on BeatStars or even on YouTube if we wanted to expand to that. Um, it's not necessarily always who you think, you know.
No, that's right. And the thing is as well, if you think about it, like every single platform, their trending searches is going to be different to a certain point because it depends on the audience that you have, the people that are coming to the platform. So you have to really sit down and think about that. So, okay, what's the type of people that are looking for beats on BeatStars? You know, what are people searching on YouTube? But the good thing about having that stuff is it helps you to create a strategy for your beat releases, your schedules and stuff. So so for instance, right, Lil Durk is popping off on BeatStars, right? You go and search him on YouTube, like how many views are people getting? Like is it trending on YouTube as well? And obviously, Google Trends can help you to see that. But so you can utilize all of that information because if you're using, we always say this all the time. If you're using another platform like YouTube or Instagram or any other kind of like social platform, you want to direct that traffic back to your Beat Store. So if you're using the trending searches on YouTube, for instance, and it is Little Dirk, say just for argument's sake, and you're starting to upload those Little Dirk type beats, that's and you're providing those links to those beats in your videos, that's going to naturally lead back to your BeatStars profile, whether it's your pro page on a marketplace. So what you got to try and do is like use that trending, but then direct those people to where you want them to go, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So, like we've said before many times on these shows, like making sure you put those links and that in wherever you're posting your content. So, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
guess
think something else that is worth mentioning right now is that although it may seem like a daunting task,
mhm,
sometimes it may be worth it depending on differences in traffics, depending on differences in traffic and trends that you see on different websites.
yep,
It might be worth it to have different releases, maybe time things a little bit differently. I know
yeah,
that sounds like a lot of work to like upload one type of beat on BeatStars one day or run an ad for one type of beat on BeatStars one day and do a different ad for a different beat on your on your YouTube. But sometimes those little extra things, if there's more traffic and more interest in one area on a different website, sometimes that's just kind of part of the deal with trying to market and make the most out of your music.
yeah,
Um,
and a lot of the time as well is like we've always said is testing as well. When it comes to this
yeah,
stuff, but if you can look at all of this data and use it analytically and work through it all, it does work for people. I know people that utilize trending searches, utilize Google Trends. I know Mike Trampy is hot on it. He's always posting stuff on his socials about new stuff that's trending because he knows like how valuable it can be, and it can be, if you use it correctly. So today we want to show you those tools that you can use to help you with that. But at the end of the day, it's up to you guys to kind of like use that and dissect it in a way that you want to use it for your own businesses. So
right.
um
There is one. I think now would be a good time to like we can go to Google Trends right now,
yeah,
and and we might want to backtrack a little bit after this. But if you pull up that trending section again, I just want to point out one more thing, Lee.
okay, yeah, sure, sorry.
No
Yep,
worries. The last person on that list, Gunna.
yeah,
I want to search. I want to run a search for him because he has one of like the biggest trends right now on the internet, Pushing Pete.
yeah,
It is a track that has become it's sort of turned into a meme almost, the way you see the comments on all social platforms, like on TikTok, on Instagram. Everybody's writing push and P everywhere.
Yeah.
And that, and that is going to have a direct effect on the searchability of the term. This is a hot term right now. Everybody is writing it everywhere. So there are little things that you can do. And there's a really smart one that Lee talked to me about yesterday that I definitely want to talk about, which is kind of like retagging your beats and making small adjustments. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go to Google Trends.
Sure.
And let's run some searches for Gunna and Push and P.
Just quickly before you do that, I want to show people how sometimes, trending searches and top charts can correlate. And
Oh, yeah.
I've just actually noticed something here. Like for instance, Drake type beat is a trending search, and straight away I can see, there's a lot of Drake type stuff in the charts. And the other thing was as well was I don't know if you noticed as well was guitar, which is always quite popular, but there's some guitar stuff. I mean, the first one here is guitar, so sometimes it can correlate. It's just that you need to, like, again, just use that information. I mean, as you can see, the trending searching is showing some of those in the charts here, so I just thought I'd share that with everyone as well. Yeah, so let's go to Google Trends.
And we'll kind of show you how to use Google Trends to sort of really find out what the best sort of settings are to put. There's a lot of different ways that you could use it. Right now, we're going to check out a current trend, and then we'll also show you how to like backtrack and look at the past and use past trends to predict future trends.
Did you want to try that Gunna one first, just out of curiosity?
Let's go ahead and do that. I'm just curious. I haven't run this search before.
I'm just going to search it as Gunna.
It's just Gunna, and then
we can try the Gunna type beat as well.
Change it to global, so it'll automatically set it as your country, I believe. So go ahead and change it to worldwide.
So yeah, as you can see, recently he's kind of increased,
Right. So this is showing the past 12 months. You could also click on that drop-down menu and change it to see, like, because it'll give you more specific information about how the last week or the last month has been effective. So in the last week, it looks like it's been going up and down and up and down and up and down, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That actually might be a really good thing, because it's showing that like interest is pretty like consistent in spikes. So if you look at these numbers right here, like on 30th of December, it says, go back to 30th of December, it says 12. So 12 is a rating out of 100 over the interest compared to the rest of your period, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense. So it would be like the maximum level of interest over this period would be like a 99. So if you go to that spike, it should be pretty high.
Yeah, it's going to be
100, right? So 100 is the peak over this period, and then that 12 means that it's like it's like 10% of the interest that it was at its peak, which was January 7th. Yeah. So that's how to use that and read that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. But as you can see, he was right? He did peak at some point here. So that was a good one to search for sure. But you can also, there's a lot of, it's very cool here. You can use, the interest by region, there's a lot of, you can also use the kind of do related topics as well. So there's a lot of information that you can find in here. We can try.
Well, actually keep it there. I just want to show the other section again, like the suggestions.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yep.
Just go back down to that. Yeah. So in the related queries, you see a couple different things. You see push and P, Gunna, push and P. These are all breakout terms. So let's go ahead and use one of them. I think you could just click it and it'll add it to your search, and it'll compare the different things. Actually, okay, it just has that there, and you can add another one if you want to kind of compare to see like exactly how these things are, what the interest level is for different search terms.
So you can do comparisons. Yeah. Am I doing that right there?
Yeah, I would change it to just push and P instead of Gunna, and we'll see if that's like a. Oh no, I meant the first one. Change it to just Gunna, and then
Okay.
yeah, one of them Gunna, and then one of them Pushing P. It might be Pushing P. See, this is the kinds of things that you have to experiment with
Yeah.
because it'll show you different results for the exact characters that you put.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pushing P, you could put pushing, see if that makes a difference. You can add it to the comparison because I think that's the best way to
Oh,
use
that's
it.
a good. Yeah, actually, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
You can use this to know exactly what you want to
The
tag your stuff.
term.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the actual term. So yeah, look, you can see.
So pushing is way above pushing. So we were
Yeah.
pronouncing it wrong, I guess.
Yeah. But that was one of the recommended like related
Right, for
queries.
sure.
So we was kind of going off of that.
So this is how you know, like, so if the peak for this, is this still 30 days?
Yeah.
Okay, so the peak for this 30 days is Pushing P. Pushing P is way more popular than Pushing P, and it's way more popular than Gunna.
Yeah.
So I mean, like this date looks at about the time I started seeing all the P emojis on Instagram. So, I mean, that makes sense, right? So these are the kinds of things that we're kind of talking about, right?
Yeah.
The kinds of things that you want to be aware of, because the more people are typing things in and searching for a term, you kind of want to try to see if you could sneak that in to your YouTube description box, to your tags on
Yep.
YouTube, to your titles on BeatStars. I mean, like, if this is here, like, don't you think that there are artists that are hearing Pushing P, seeing how popular it is, and thinking like, I want not only a beat that sounds like Gunna, I want a beat that sounds like that specific song.
Yeah.
So these are all things that, like, you want to keep in mind, like things that can kind of like set you over the top. And when we say things like this, we don't mean to like try to copy a trend or try to reach for it if it's kind of like out of your zone. Like if you have a hyper pop beat like Bufo was talking about earlier, you don't just want to like suddenly tag that as Pushing P because you're just going to disappoint people who click on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It
And it's
needs to
not going to
be
be of any
related.
benefit to you. You're not going to make a
Yeah.
sale off of that.
Yeah.
But if you have a Gunna type beat already, you know what I mean? You could just write Pushing P on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Inspired by
talking about?
Pushing
Like,
P. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, obviously the content's got to be relatable. It can't, like
yeah,
you
it
said,
should
you
be
can't.
relatable. But
Yeah.
I mean, it should be within that category. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
as long as something's close, the number one thing you want to do is make sure that you're not false advertising or disappointing people that
Of
have clicked on
course.
it,
Yeah.
because you're wasting everybody's time. Like getting that one extra stream is not going to help you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you want to convert those into sales. So,
Exactly.
and I think anybody who's looking for something that sounds like Pushing P isn't expecting exactly Pushing P because you can't do that. But what we just mean is something with a similar vibe.
Yeah, and it's something that's been inspired by that kind of track.
Right.
It's more of an inspiration. So it's like an inspired Pushing B Gunner type track. Type B. So it's inspired by that vibe. So yeah, obviously it's not it's not going to be exactly the same, of course, but yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's how you can use Google Trends. And there was one. I guess we can kind of go to the one that I was that showed you yesterday
Right.
that I thought was really cool, and it was something that I actually personally used myself, and I noticed the I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but I think it's Money Long. I kept saying Mooney Long, but I think it's Money Long,
I think it might be
and
my
yeah, Money Long, yeah. Because I'm saying it how it's actually written, but so I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. But obviously, I noticed that she's been really popping off recently with one of her tracks called "Hours and Hours," which was actually produced by two producers on BeatStars. And I noticed how that was really, really popping off, and there was so many people doing challenges on Instagram and TikTok. And I said to Jamil yesterday, I said, right, let's try searching Money Long because obviously she's been popping off, so people are probably going to be searching for a lot. So we can kind of test that now and see. I would say we could compare it with this, but yeah, I mean you could do that if you wanted to. You could compare
You
it with
could. I think
Push
there's a little
B.
bit of value in that, but we can add something on after. Let's just do a fresh
Yeah.
search, like just to show what you were talking about.
Yep. So let's just do Money Long. as you can see, you know, from I think was it
I would
released in
change this
November?
from
I
30
think.
days to like something else to like to
Yeah,
kind
maybe
of show what the spike looks like.
7 days.
Maybe go longer. I wanted to show like
Maybe go to
the
12 months.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's a huge spike, you know, from when did that kind of start? Kind of November, yeah, which was when it was released, and then it's kind of gradually increased. So, can you imagine if you kind of caught on to it as it just started, you know, just before Christmas here? You know, you started posting a ton of content that was related to Money Long, whether it's on your socials, whether you started uploading Money Long type beats to BeatStars and YouTube. You know, those probably those video views and searches for those videos would, you know, would be skyrocketing probably right now, right? Potentially, who knows? But so this was one of the things I did, and this is what I was talking to, or we was discussing yesterday. Me and Jamil was about retagging your beats on BeatStars. You know, using this kind of stuff to you know, potentially try to reboost some of the beats that you already have on your within your BeatStars account. And it was actually something I did personally myself, and I know there's a couple of people in the chat that do this as well. And it is retagging your beats. And I actually went through all of my beats because I saw that Mooney Long was kind of doing really well with this new track or this new EP, and I I thought, you know what, I've got a few of those beats that sound very similar or have a very from like similar vibe. So I just went and changed all of those, you know, those tags and made them a little bit more current and relatable, you
Are
know,
we looking at
based
your
on these
profile? Do you
trends.
mind if we go on your profile and just kind of look, and then maybe you could talk about like what they were tagged as before?
Yeah, I've already changed them already. So yeah, I can go ahead and do that. Um, Obviously, as you can see here, like there's been a huge spike for this. So I saw this on socials and how it was popping off and how all of these celebrities and you know all of these you know well-known artists were actually you know jumping on this and doing like challenges and remixes of this stuff and doing their own renditions and stuff. So you know we searched this yesterday and we saw how you know how it just increased you know massively from you know from November right to now. So yeah, let's go to my account and we can show you. So
So
let's
yeah, when we talk about retagging, we just mean like going in and changing some of the metadata, changing the titles, changing the tags.
yep.
And you can see that
So
like, some of these beats, I'm not sure exactly how old the oldest beat is that you retagged. It looks like you have one from November. So this trend didn't come till this month, right?
yeah, so it came. Yeah, it started. Well, it extremely you know, boosted in January, of course, but it was gradually, as you saw from the graph,
Right,
it
for
was
sure. So
gradually
yeah, like
building from
he
November.
originally had this tagged as something else, and then he
Yes.
just went in and changed it. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't like change the quality of the beat. It didn't change. You know, it's not like you know your I don't know. Like, what was it tagged as before? Do you remember?
It was tagged as I believe it was like her or it was Kiana Lady or Kalani or it was one of those.
Oh, okay.
Can't say exactly because I should know because I did this a couple of days ago actually. um, but I've been through all of them, so I've changed a few others as well.
Yeah, I mean, and those things are the same thing. Like
Yeah,
they're very similar. So
yeah,
when
and we're
people
in
click
fact,
on that, even though it wasn't made with Money Long in mind, you're still getting that same vibe. It
yeah,
could still be a Money Long, you know, inspired beat.
yeah,
So that's just something that we wanted to put on people's radars. Like doing things like this could like re-inject life into your beats.
yeah,
Something that is another good thing to keep in mind is like, I mean, this is like another form of like kind of like late A/B testing. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody here does A/B testing where they originally tag their beats as one thing. If they're not getting the results they want, you kind of go in and change some of that metadata. A lot of really popular YouTubers I've heard of also doing this. Like they'll put a thumbnail And if the video isn't performing, they have a backup thumbnail they'll immediately change to, because they think it might be the thumbnail making a difference. These are all marketing tactics, marketing techniques that people use.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I did actually notice an increase in plays when I did change, even though it's not showing up on the trending searches on BeatStars. I did notice an increase in plays, and in fact, I had, that particular beat there, the Let It Go one, was added to a couple of, people's playlists, R&B playlists and stuff. That may have not. It could be a coincidence, or it could be a case that because I changed the tags and I changed the description and the title slightly, that it's made some difference to me. Who knows? That's really hard to determine. But if it was a beat that was kind of like dormant, not really doing much, and then all of a sudden you've changed the tags and it's now getting a load of attention, then that makes that would make a lot of sense. It's obviously you've changed something and it's working for you. But that's something you can do, because I don't know about the producers in the chat here, but sometimes when I'm making music myself, I struggle to think of an artist sometimes, and sometimes you might just put anything because you want to upload it to BeatStars. But if something like this happens and you think, oh, you know what, this song actually does sound a bit like this new artist that's come out or someone that's popping off, go ahead and change the tags. It's not going to hurt. And at the end of the day, the one thing I always think in mind is that it might take some time, for a beat that you've uploaded to your account. It might take some time for it to start getting some traction. But if you're not like not say messing around, but testing things, like trying different tags, trying different descriptions, trying different things, that beat might not never get found. So, you have to test this stuff out to see what's going to work for you. And then once it does, stay on that for a while, and that's the best way to look at it, in my opinion. So I think retagging stuff, not just on BeatStars but on other platforms as well, like if you're uploading videos to YouTube, that can help you too. If you've got videos on YouTube currently that are fitting in a Mooney Long vibe or a Gunna vibe, as we've seen it's been popular, go and change the tags on those videos as well. It's not going to hurt, I don't think, to try that. So was there anything else that you wanted to mention about Google Trends?
I kind of wanted to look at like a past trend.
Yeah.
So what we can do is, do you have the Metacritic link?
Yeah, let me get the Metacritic.
So what I wanted to kind of talk about is, so far we've talked about like looking at and examining current trends.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to get into like predicting
Yeah.
what an upcoming trend might be, so you could start getting your tags ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a good thing to do, let's just say you have, maybe a beat coming up that you want to release. You're not really sure what to do. So let's look at like some upcoming releases and see if maybe we could use one of those. I don't really see any hip hop artists yet. Let me see.
Got Avril Lavigne.
Is there going to be like a Drake release anytime soon? Do we see that anywhere?
Let's have a look.
Well, we can just talk about this for a second before we get into like the other things. Yeah. So this is like an upcoming album release schedule of like confirmed albums, I believe.
Yeah.
For the rest of this year. It's just good to stay on top of these things, like just to kind of see what's coming up. As a music listener, as a music enjoyer, and as a music business owner, these are some things that you probably want to know. Just because you want to see like what's on the radar, like what people might be searching for, what people might be interested in, what artists people are going to suddenly remember. Because there's a bunch of artists on there that I saw that I was like, I totally forgot that person existed. I haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah. But you can search on Google, upcoming albums in 2022.
Yeah, there's tons of different platforms. These lists. This is just one.
Yeah.
We were looking at one that we found.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's an example that I used in the Google Trends tutorial, which was Drake. So let's say, for example, Drake had an upcoming release. Let's say you're like, man, I don't really know if there's a lot of interest when there's a Drake release. Is like, and you're wondering like, is it worth it to maybe put up a Drake type beat just because there's a Drake album? Like, I just don't know if there's a connection between searches. What you can do is you can go back in time on Google Trends and look what happened when the last major Drake release occurred. So let's look at when was the last Drake release. Let's find out.
There's a lot of anticipated releases as well here. So obviously there's no dates.
Okay, so Certified Lover Boy was released on September 3rd. So let's go on Google Trends and just search Drake and look back at what happened on September 3rd.
Yeah.
So if there's a Drake album coming up and you're like, should I make a Drake type beat? Well, let's see what happened the last time Drake put out an album. And that's a big example. Obviously, we're going to see results. But I'm talking about like for a smaller artist that you're not sure if it's going to make a difference or not. Let's go worldwide.
So there you go. Look, September, you said, right?
Yeah, look at that big spike. So when the release happened, the searches for Drake went up. Now let's look at Drake type beat, because that's kind of what we're looking at, right?
Yep.
Was there more interest in Drake type beats around that time? Okay, so it was a little bit up and down. And it looks like, let's look at that biggest spike. When was that biggest spike?
That was April.
That was April. So what happened with Drake in April? Like these are just things that, you can continue to search, like continue to try to find out what exactly makes things trend.
Yeah. I mean, look, it kind of peaked here a little bit as well, 55 between the 5th and the 11th, which was when you said the album came out, right? So he's dropped an album, and the search for Drake type beats did actually go up compared to the previous month, August and stuff. So you like Jamil says, you can use that, figure out, oh, so when did Drake drop something, or what happened, or did something pop off? And so it could even be something like the song was used in a TikTok video, right? And it's going crazy on TikTok. All of a sudden, people might be, because the other thing as well you have to remember is that sometimes people might not know these artists until they see these videos, right? So they get familiar with the artists and they go, wow, like I didn't know that's who that was, and then they start searching them. So there's like Jamil says, you can use past to test this stuff. You can check future stuff as well, obviously, with checking out new stuff that's coming out. But there's so many tools that you can use to kind of help you.
As Levi was saying, like something I just thought was really interesting. I don't want to lose it.
Sure.
Was like, maybe it's not the album that makes him peak. Maybe it's a single. Maybe he news broke of like a relationship he's in or something. It's like that's why you have to look and then do a little bit of, as Bufo is saying, like a little bit of, or as G-Lev is saying, like, trend forensic scientists.
Exactly.
Like, if you're really trying to make a difference in your marketing, then like these might be some things that you want to maybe invest a little bit of time in. And it's interesting to me, at least. Like now, I really want to go find out what the heck happened in April. It was probably a single. It was probably a single.
The other thing is as well, I think we're searching Drake type beat here, but from a marketing standpoint, obviously you want to direct traffic to your website, your beat store, and stuff like that. But this is not always just about making sales. It's about building, helping to build your network and build and increase your engagement level. So that can ultimately, in the end, lead to sales and additional revenue and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that can come off this. And I watched a live stream with DJ Pain One the other day, and it was with Eldre, and he does like these remix stuffs, and he posts them on TikTok, and he's got flew off the shelf with it all. He's going crazy with it all. So, but even though this is just stuff that he's not really monetizing, but he's been able to draw that traffic back to his community, and he's, you know, people are starting to get to know him, his brand. They're starting to start to follow him on socials, and that can just end up leading to, you know, who knows what, you know, brand partnerships. There's so many things that can come out of doing stuff like that. So it's not always just about, you know, oh, I need to tag my beats with Drake type beat. It might be something that you, I don't know, you make a video on for TikTok, like maybe you're breaking down a beat that Drake has done. This is how he did this, putting it up on your YouTube channel. You know, like, oh, this is the chords he used, or something like that, or whatever. You know, it could be anything like that. And then because the search has gone up, people are interested. They're going to probably potentially come across that, right? And that's naturally going to lead more traffic your way, right? So there's loads of ways um, to utilize this stuff. Do you know what I mean? I hope people are kind of understanding what I'm trying to say here, but um, yeah. So what else? What was you going to say, Jim? Oh, you was going to search April, right? Did you find anything?
No, I think I might need to do a little bit of. I mean, all I just searched was Drake
Forensic.
release April 2021. I need to go deep now. This is gonna be something that I do after work. I need to find
Maybe
out.
something happened on social media. Who knows?
Maybe something happened on social media. That's what I'm saying. Like it could be anything. Like this is why you gotta do the research. So that the next time that happens, you're like, oh, I remember what happened like last time. He was trending on social media for something. Like,
Yep.
let me go look if the same let me go see if the same result happened on Google Trends. And if it does, like now you might be ahead of everybody on a trend.
Head of the curve. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the I mean, say going over it again is just really useful tools that you can use to kind of help, you know, help you to try and predict what might happen potentially. You know, again, it's never a forgiven. It's never a given. Sorry, um, but it can help, and it does help. I know people that have used this stuff, and it does help them.
Yeah. Do we have any last things before we go into the quiz or?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something that G Life said there. Actually, that's very true. You know, um, there was a specific uh, thing that Payne One mentioned about Eldre, and he did. I think it was like a Lil Nas X remix or something like that. He
Yeah.
did, and it ended up being reposted by Lil Nas himself because he saw it and he was like, "Wow, this is crazy dope." Reached out, you know, so that naturally got Eldre a bunch more traffic. So people, you know, started to get to know who he was a bit more, you know. So, and G Life's correct here, you know, who exactly if someone's popping off, they might be searching for their own type beats. Who knows? You know, you never know. So that's a very, very good point. Thanks for sharing that, Gilo. Cool. So, did you say you wanted to do the quiz now?
Yeah,
We're
we
ready
can
for the
go into
quiz.
the quiz now. Let me pull it up. Everybody not familiar? We do a quiz at the end of every episode of BeatStars Academy. The top 3 winners get added to a special BeatStars Academy playlist. Um, and yeah, it's just like a fun little thing we do to kind of see, you know, how much you guys have learned from the show.
Yes.
And hopefully, give you guys, and hopefully get you guys on some playlists. Let me pull it up right now. Play.
Yep. Fantastic Beats said the same thing. Meek Mill. I think that was how Meek found the fellow beats as well. Yeah.
Chrome tab. Is it this
We've
one?
not done a quiz for a while. I'm looking forward to this actually.
Yeah, we haven't. You're right. Okay, it looks like the game pin is 3200. You could also scan that QR code if you want.
Yep.
Oh, bigger. We recommend doing this on your phone so you can see the questions on your computer screen. If you're watching this on your phone, I don't have to tell you it's gonna be hard. Because the questions won't be on the phone. It's just the answers. You select the answers.
Yeah.
This one's kind of easy. This is one of the easier quizzes.
I've not actually seen any of the questions yet, so I could have actually joined in today.
Well, I used 2 of your questions that you sent me. I used both of them.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, okay.
It's Kahoot.it.
Yeah,
You can
Kahoot.
see it on the screen right there, Kahoot.it or the Kahoot app, either one. Just go on the browser for now if you want to get it on your phone after this, because we do this every couple of weeks.
Yeah, you can scan the QR. I've missed the music as well, to be fair.
I mean, the music is really good. Some bangers, man. We'll start up in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Did you see anyone like post any kind of website places in the chat?
I didn't see any.
No.
Yeah, if you want to check like upcoming releases, we saw that they have it on Metacritic. They have it on Genius, I think.
Yeah.
They
I
have
think Wikipedia as well. I think they have
Yeah, on Billboard. Billboard is
Billboard.
another.
That's another place we didn't check actually. Yeah.
Billboard also has like a top producers chart.
Yep.
I would recommend checking out to kind of see what who the top producers are, and kind of what
Type
kind of
of
music
stuff they're doing.
Yeah. A lot of them are BeatStars users, so
they are, yeah. Which is pretty amazing, really, when you think about it. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very.
Yeah, I would definitely look at those BeatStars users, especially because then like you can go on their profile and see what beats they have available for sale.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, okay, so that's what they're doing. Like,
yeah,
it's interesting.
It is interesting. Yeah.
All right. You can still join afterwards if you haven't joined yet. Same deal. Kahoot.it, game pin 3200. It'll be in the bottom right corner of the screen. Let's go ahead and get started.
Let's go.
The quicker you answer, the more points you will get.
Did we do a double?
There's no double. What is the name of the tool you can use to check the popularity of search terms? Is it Google Analytics, Google Trends, Google Pixel, or Google Ads? Click the corresponding color on your mobile device to what you believe the answer is. The quicker you answer, the more points you get.
I like that GIF.
Yeah, I think the GIF game is pretty strong today. I'm gonna look that up. Google Trends, Google Analytics. Come on, man. We were just on Google Trends for like half an hour. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I intentionally wanted that to be a little bit like,
Yeah,
that was the hardest one, I think. So yeah, it's Google Trends, trends.google.com, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see.
Let's go.
Okay.
Skeltio.
Cool top five. All right. Top 3 get added to the playlist.
Yeah, top 3.
All right, let's go to the next question. True or false?
Official Kahoot host.
You are able to change your tags on a beat after the upload date. That's a little bit of tag you're it with Han Solo. Yeah, you can go back and go to the edit metadata screen, change the title of your beats. You can change the tags. You can adjust everything, basically. So, yep, I would definitely recommend checking that out. If a beat didn't get the kind of results that you wanted at first, maybe you need to go back and add a description. Maybe you need to go change some of the metadata. Maybe adjust the tags a little bit. Maybe adjust your album artwork, your track artwork.
Yep, create a playlist and put it in a playlist as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of ways to do.
All right, let's see that updated. Okay, cool. a little bit of movement. Cloud9 jumps into the top 3. I mean, like this 1901 to 1893 and the 1893 to 1882, that's like a matter of like a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
So sometimes like having that quick, like, having the quick finger, it might make a difference. But make sure you're clicking the right thing. Don't click without reading. Okay, question 3. Oh no, this is the double points. I lied.
Hey.
Why is it important to keep on top of trends? It can guide and help you to create popular content. It can help to enable you to work more efficiently. It can lead to increased engagement and popularity, or all of the above.
Good question.
Lee wrote that. Yeah. This is why you gotta read all of them, man. See, it's all the above. All the above.
Yes, all of the above.
Yeah, man. Staying on top of trends could just help with so many things.
Yeah.
And we just want to reiterate, don't think that, oh, I just want to go my own path. I don't want to hop on trends. It doesn't have to mean you change what you do or who you are.
No, exactly. No.
These are just like marketing tactics. You know what I mean? Like afterwards, after you're done with the beat, just open up your mind to what you thought it might be before you started. If you went in thinking like, okay, this is Drake type beat, this is Drake type beat, this is Drake type beat, and you don't want to change that depending on the information that's available to you, you could be missing out on some opportunities. So just keep an open mind. These are all, type beats. It's just a marketing tool. It's just you're just titling things to make sure people can find it. It doesn't mean you're changing who you are.
No, you can just help people find it easier by using these tools, these trends and stuff.
Right. All right, let's see our updated leaderboard.
Oh, Cloud9's.
Okay, I mean everybody's moving up. We got a lot. I like it. This is a good race. Okay, let's go to question number 4. True or false? We have a trending search section on BeatStars.
This is a really easy one. I hope we don't get any wrong answers in this one.
If there is, it's probably just an accident.
Yeah. Slip of the thumb.
There we go. Yep, it's true. There's the trending section that you could go on by hovering over the tracks.
Yep.
The track tab on top. You could also see a small preview of that on the homepage as well. So
yeah, if you missed it, if you missed the beginning of the show, we did actually mention that was one of the first things we mentioned. So you can go and watch that back if you want to figure out where those places are.
Oh. Fantastic. Beats the top 5. All right. Interesting. All right, last question. This is your last chance to get into that top 3, one of the top 3 spots. Which of these things can make an artist trend? An album release, a single release, a social media story, all of the above.
That's Drake that's just found a type beat on BeatStars, isn't it?
He's like, wow, this type beat is amazing. Yep, all of the above. This was the last thing we talked about. I wrote that question right before we started. I always like to leave one question blank, just to add it based on the last thing we talked about. It's one of my favorite things to do. All right, everybody got it right. Everybody should be getting some points. Let's check out who our top 3 are. Podium, 3rd place with 5688 is August. 2nd place with 5705 is Cloud9 Music. And 1st place with 5803 and the grand champion.
Sketio. Or Sketio. I don't know how you would say that, pronounce that name. I probably messed that name up as well.
I'm very proud of everybody. Everybody got the last question right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna expand to the top 5. Top 5, all getting added to the playlist this week. So that brings it up to who are the last 2? I have the info in here.
Yeah.
I'll do the full report after. If you're in the top 5, you are getting added to the playlist. If your name that you entered for the Kahoot is different than your name on BeatStars,
please
tell us right now in the comments. Otherwise, we will not be able to find you. So August, I don't think I've seen you in here before, so I'm not sure if that's your name on BeatStars, but just let us know your full BeatStars username or display name, and we'll check it out, and we'll add everybody's pinned beat to the playlist.
Yeah. Great stuff. Well, I hope everyone got something out of today's show. I learned some stuff for sure. Um, and we hope that let us know if you see something, if you use these tools that we've mentioned today and it works for you. Let me and Jamil know. We'd love to know if you went away today and found a trend, and then all of a sudden, I'm sure we'll see you because we'll see you on social media popping off somewhere. So yeah, just let us know. Let us know how you get on.
For sure. All right. Thank you guys again. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, look forward to it. See you then. Peace out,
All right.
everyone.
Later, guys.